We'll start by showing you a quick summary of the snowpack in the South Flathead area, and then we'll move to describing the three main avalanche problems on our minds as we make decisions in avalanche terrain in the South Rockies region.
Okay, so here we are in the South Flathead area, and just want to show you a little bit what the snowpack looks like around here. So we have a deep snowpack. This is 3 meters probe, so we have about 3 meter and 20 of total snowpack height. And this is our new storm snow, very nice and light and soft and cold, sitting on top of a grapple layer that's been causing some problems, some avalanches that have been failing on this. Show you a bit what it looks like down here. So here's our grapple, and below that is about a meter down is our crust. Very, quite thick 3 centimeter crust that was formed about mid-March during the rain event. And below that we have a stiffer snowpack, and below that, a little bit below the end of the probe here, we have the February 10th that's buried quite deep in this area.
60 to 100 centimeters of storm snow fell in the last week, with a layer of grapple down about 70 centimeters that has been the cause of some human-triggered storm slabs in unsupported convex terrain recently. Forecasted sun and warming temperatures could make the storm slabs even more sensitive to triggering in the days to come.
Winter's back. It's almost minus 11 up here, and we have all this cold, low-density snow, and it makes for some really nice riding and skiing. One thing we're concerned about, though, is if we were closer to ridge top or when the wind picks up, a lot of this snow will be available for transportation by the wind and can be deposited into lee zones. And there it will form a denser slab. It won't be nice and fluffy like this. And this dense slab will allow for slab avalanches to propagate. We call them wind slabs. And we want to be concerned that we don't trigger those with our skis or with snowmobiles. There's also the potential that cornices could trigger wind slabs in lee terrain in the coming days as well.
We're also keeping cornices in mind, especially since the sun is forecasted to be out and temperatures are expected to rise. Cornices have grown big and tender since the last storm. If on a ridge top, stay well away from the edge. Also, don't hang out or play under slopes that have big overhead hazard, especially if the sun is shining on or above the cornices. The February 10th persistent weak layer has caused very large destructive avalanches in the past month. It's now buried quite deep in most areas, which is making it more difficult to trigger. However, in thinner snowpack areas, like windward slopes in the Alpine, or lower snowpack zones like Predator Ridge and Rain Gauge, the persistent weak layer might be easier to trigger under the weight of a skier or sledder. We are still choosing to avoid big alpine slopes with thin snowpack and rocky outcrops, and using safe travel techniques like exposing just one person at a time and avoiding convexities and unsupported terrain. These wintry conditions are making us forget that it's spring. Keep an eye on the avalanche bulletins for the region you're planning to sled or ski in, because spring conditions can arrive fast and create completely different problems in the snowpack.